Hi, I'm TR Edwards, and welcome back here for another episode of Voice of the Valley, where today we're going to be featuring our vocal music program. My guest today will be Allyson Johnston, the vocal music director, as well as some of our excellent students representing the vocal music department. Hi, once again, welcome back here to Voice of the Valley. I am TR Edwards, principal at River Valley High School. We're excited today about our program that you're joining us for, where we're going to feature some of our students and talk about what's been happening in the vocal music department. With me today, I have Miss Allyson Johnston, so welcome to the show today. Before we get started, I do want to thank the University of Rio Grande. They very graciously allowed us to continue to come here and talk about our programs and the things that are happening at the high school to share that out. So we thank you for joining us and thank them for the work that they do, particularly the television studio staff here. We appreciate what they do to support us as well. So a lot of things have been happening in the music department. It seems like in the music department it is always busy.
Just a little bit. Yeah. Just a little bit.
So today we're going to focus on two things. The first thing is your recent accomplishments, the students' recent accomplishments at OMEA Large Group. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is a very exciting event that's going to be coming up, and we'll talk about that, which is our spring musical. So first of all, Ms. Johnston, welcome to the show today, and I appreciate you coming on. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Sure. I've been working at River Valley. This is my 6th year at River Valley, I think. And, you know, we've just been working pretty hard in the music department, and, yeah.
Great. Well, I know that one of the things that we just recently completed, and I made reference to earlier, is our OMEA contest that the students participated in. And before we go into that, what is OMEA to begin with?
So OMEA is the Ohio Music Educator Association. And through our state, they put together some competitions that kind of lay out some some groundwork so that it's across the board through the state all the same when students are adjudicated. So there's a lot of different ideas. You know, it goes back to marching band. Marching band has their own. There's large group. There's solos. Throughout the year, they just provide different events for the students to participate in.
So you're saying adjudicated. So this is like a standardized program across the entire state.
Yes, that's a better way to say it.
Okay.
Yes.
So whenever our students go and they, you know, and one of the big accomplishments that I'm proud of is that our students received a 1, which is a superior rating. And I'll let you dive into 1 a little bit here in a minute. But that means that receiving a 1, that isn't just at this particular contest. That is a standard across the entire state that they were able to achieve that level.
Right, and if Mr. Reed were here, he could tell us a little bit more about the system, but it is the same across the board. So if we participate in a marching band event, if we participate in a solo, a large group, and it's standard across the state, which is one of the nice things. It's not the same in every state.
Yeah, great. So this particular one, like I said, the vocal music program received a 1. Mm-hmm. Tell me about what a 1 means.
So the word for a 1 is superior. So that means that we've had an excellent, superior, best performance of the contest, I guess you could say.
It is the highest level.
It is the highest level that you can achieve. We did get a lot of good comments this time. The judges are able to record on their devices while we perform, so we get some feedback that way that we can continue to work in the classroom with.
And you talked about the judges. The judges come from a panel of experts, you would say, in the field?
Yeah, and that's sort of nice to know that they're getting feedback not only from me, but from someone in the state who knows, you know, just as much or more than I do, and they're giving us feedback that we can continue to work on.
Great, great. Well, you talked about this is your 6th year at River Valley, mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about the growth of the vocal music program.
So this is, if we start with OMEA, this is my 4th time out going to OMEA contest to the large group, and I like to go. I like for the students to know that we are competing at the same levels as everybody else in the state. It's good to know that we're able to receive a superior here in Southern Ohio, just like, you know, everyone else. So that's really nice. But just to go back a little further, when I started, we restarted the COPA, I think, the year after. So we've started a fall kind of performance variety show kind of thing that we've been doing now. That's pretty standard, and the kids really enjoy that. Then we started going out on Christmas tours. That's something else that we do throughout the year. We're able to go see the elementary school students and inspire them to be part of us one day. And then, of course, the musical was long going before me, but, you know, we've got that going on now with Large Group. Then we perform at graduation. So we have a full year full of events that keep the kids busy.
Okay. Well, before we dive into a lot more of the OMEA competition, let's introduce our other guests today.
Absolutely.
So I would like to also introduce Isabella Moore. Isabella Moore is a senior at River Valley High School, and Shayla Sanger, and Shayla is a junior at River Valley. So welcome to the show today.
Thank you.
All right. Did the two of you also experienced OMEA?
Yeah, it was my first time this year, and I'd heard a lot about it. Like, people were getting excited for it, and this year I got to experience it, and it's something I'm not going to forget for a while.
So evidently, with that comment, probably a lot of work went into it as well.
Definitely, a lot of hard work and some laughs along the way.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's great to have some laughs along the way, and I think that's a strength of the program and what it's developed into is students are able to have a lot of fun as they work as well. So, can you guys reflect a little bit on what that day was like? First of all, where did you compete?
We competed at Shawnee State. And it has a beautiful campus, and we went up there. We got to school pretty early that morning, and we were all kind of tired, but we were ready for it. We were singing on the way up there and everything. And we got there. We were a little bit nervous for everything, but once everything started going, everything fell into place, and we're just really excited that we got to experience it.
Great, great. So I want you guys to weigh in, and then also Ms. Johnston as well. What kind of things do they look for? Like, what are the particulars that whenever you go to this contest are they looking for? Are there different components? Like, do you present one thing and then move to another place and perform a separate thing?
From the moment we walk in, they're judging us from like our appearance, how we act. Like, we need to show that we're mature. Semi-adults.
Semi-adults.
And then we go and we sing our songs that we've been learning for the past few months, and we get graded on the floor, and then we go into the sight reading room. And
what were your songs this year?
Peace Like a River, Jubilate Deo,
and Keep Your Lamps.
There we go. Yeah, fun. What was your favorite one?
Keep Your Lamp.
Yeah.
Keep Your Lamp. Why was that one your favorite?
When we were in class, we kept singing it like different ways, trying just to figure out which way it was best. I think that was really fun because we went through just like different strengths that we had, and we learned a lot from that experience.
Great, great. So there's also another component. Am I correct, Ms. Johnston?
Well, as Shayla said, so we learned 3 songs, and we perform those on the stage, and then we move upstairs to sing sight reading, which is a little bit scary for even myself.
Wow, sight reading. So what do you mean by sight reading?
So they literally hand us a piece of music, and we are asked to perform it to our best ability without ever having practiced it.
And you've never seen this piece of music
That's
before?
Correct.
Wow. So girls, how was that?
It was very scary for me because it's my first year in show choir, and I was really nervous about it because I hadn't had a lot of background on it, but thankfully I learned a lot throughout the year so that I could be prepared for it.
So what kind of things do you have to watch for?
Like the rhythm, our words, how loud we are.
Mm.
So there's a lot of dynamics that go into it too that you have to pay attention to. Well, evidently you guys did well, so that's something to be proud of. Now, previously, this isn't the first year that you've competed. So can you tell me a little bit about your previous years at competition at OMEA Large Group?
Sure. So this is our 4th time attending as a large group, and this is the 2nd superior rating that we've received as a school.
Great, great. So we've talked about how a superior rating is the top level. What is the next level down?
That would be an excellent rating, and that was the other 2 years that we received that.
Okay, and from my limited musical background, I know that even a 2, that's an accomplishment.
Absolutely. To walk in and get a 1 or a 2 is a great thing for your music program, and good to know for the kids that the right things are happening.
Okay, great. Well, Mike, you had some pictures there a little bit ago. If you could put those back up. We're definitely proud of our group of students that went to compete. They're holding up their one after they learned that they received the one.
And we need to do a shout out to Barb White, who's in that picture, who's our wonderful accompanist.
Exactly. Barb's been great for years. She comes out and is just a trooper whenever she comes out and plays for us. So
I appreciate her very much.
And that's a challenge because Barb plays for you in sight reading as well, right?
She can choose to, but there is someone in there who will help us too.
All right, great. So the next thing we want to talk about, Mike, if you could put up the picture of the flyer, and we're going to speak with these two ladies a little bit, and then we're going to bring on our other two guests as well, and that is the Newsies. So there you can see River Valley High School is going to be presenting the Newsies Friday, March 29th and Saturday, March 30th, both at 7 p.m. at the University of Rio Grande Fine Arts Center. So ladies, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about that exciting event that's going to be coming up here very soon. So first of all, if you could, tell me what your characters are in the Newsies.
My character is Catherine Plummer.
Catherine Plummer, okay.
She is a young reporter who's trying to make it on her own in a way, in a world basically where women, or in a time period where women are trying to
break through the glass.
Yeah, break through the glass.
So whenever the title of it is the Newsies, it's literally about the news.
It is.
So tell me a little bit about the background of the story and what's going on with the Newsies.
Well, first of all, Newsies are children who sell newspapers in order to, for money to live off of. And these boys, they live on the streets. They don't have families to go home to. So these boys, they buy the papers and they sell them to make their money back. Well, a higher power decides that in order to make more money, he's going to raise the price of them. Well, the Newsies don't have the money to do that, so they're saying we have rights. They stand up for what they believe in, and they go on strike in order to get their rights and make their points.
So it sounds like there's a strong historical context there.
Yeah.
What time period does this take place?
It takes place in 1899.
1899,
yes.
Okay. So this is a lot of labor relations and development of unions. So that's kind of a strong theme throughout this and the development of the story. So it sounds really interesting. Shayla, who is your character?
I play Hannah. I'm the secretary for Pulitzer, who is an actual historical figure, but he's like the antagonist of the whole entire musical. He is someone who raised the prices, doesn't care about anyone but himself. And they're who they're striking against, who the News are striking against.
And you're his secretary?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about being the secretary of the antagonist?
I think I'm great at it.
You're great at it? Well, that sounds like a lot of fun, and we're going to learn about two other characters here in a little bit. So, Isabella, can you talk a little bit about your experience in the musical so far this year?
It is my second year in the musical. I was in the chorus last year, and this year it's just so much fun to be around new people and just to learn lines with people, learn songs, dances, and everything. And it brings people together. And I'm just hoping that all our hard work will pay off, and it'll be enjoyable for the people watching and families there too. Great.
Well, Shayla, what about your experience?
I've been in the musical ever since freshman year, and what I love about the musical the most is just the connections and friends everyone makes. Like, I have friends from all different groups of people, and my favorite is that there's this kid named Brady who's a complete and utter dork, and a friend named Maddie who's pretty popular, I'd assume, and they're best friends now because of the musical. It just brought them together, and they're so close, and I love it.
Great, great. So it sounds like that there's, a multitude of students in different backgrounds and interests and things like that, but they can all come together to work toward one goal and then to have fun while doing it. I know that I stopped in and watched practice the other night, and they were working very hard, but they were also having a lot of fun, it looked like, too. So I definitely got a laugh out of them. Before we transition, Ms. Johnston, if we could talk just a little bit about some of the background, some of your prior performances. You mentioned that this was this was the your 6th year, and this is actually the 2nd year as as the musical director, correct? This is your 3rd year.
The 3rd year.
You've had 2 previously. Okay, so tell me about those 2 previous musicals.
Well, Beauty and the Beast I don't remember much of, as it was my first one, so that was just super stressful. You know, learning just the ins and outs of all of the things that go into it. There's just a lot more than what people think. But then last year in Oklahoma, we had a much nicer time together. You know, I knew what was coming and I knew what to expect a little more. And we still had a great group of kids to work with. And like she said, it does, I'm surprised even at River Valley that it does incorporate a lot of the kids from the school. You know, it's not just the kids that are in my room every day. It's a lot of different people, and it's good for them. It's really great.
Well, and one thing that I noticed that, you know, from an administrative perspective is we have to try to work through various schedules throughout the spring.
Oh my, yeah.
And, you know, because we do pull kids from so many different backgrounds that, you know, working around track and working around, you know, sports and jobs and other things. But it's really phenomenal the amount of hours that students are willing to put in to make it a successful
Yeah, we are one of the
event.
last practices of the day. You know, we're going to have a practice this evening from 5 to 8, and we are always the last practice because we have to wait for track, we have to wait for baseball, we have to wait for whatever. But it says a lot that the kids are still willing to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely, and definitely whenever I stopped in the other night, there was still a lot of energy from the students, and we'll meet 2 that definitely have energy and some antics, we'll say, here in just a minute. So we talked about Beauty and the Beast in Oklahoma, and this is definitely, you know, you've continued in excellence. You know, we had a great musical program, and you've definitely continued with that tradition, and it's been really fun to watch. You know, you said you didn't remember much about Beauty and the Beast, but that was an excellent performance, and definitely Oklahoma as well. Both of those also appeared here at the University of Rio Grande, and we're returning this year. So. If people were going to purchase tickets, how did they go about doing that?
They can stop by River Valley. Connie has some ticket order forms in the office. You can stop and fill out. She'll leave those for me, and we'll fulfill your ticket order. Otherwise, you can go online to rivervalley.ludus.com, and we've set that program up. You can choose your seats, and you can pay online. You can also make a donation to the musical by going online. There. You know, we're always needing some more funds to costume these children and, you know, get music and just all the props and everything that goes into it. So we truly appreciate it.
Right. And there, you know, it is trying to work on as limited funds as you can in a way, because you don't want to overburden parents or students with ticket prices. So, and then speaking of which, how much are tickets?
Tickets are $10 for adults and $5 for students.
Okay, all right. And I know the Ludus program. I've went on there before, and it is very easy. It's nice to
it's nice.
Check right out.
It's nice for me, and that it sends you a receipt automatically, so it keeps everybody in line.
Great. So our other 2 guests have joined us here. So if we could welcome them, Cole Franklin is joining us, and then also Ian Evelyn. So before we start in, guys, tell them a little bit about yourself, and then let's talk about your character.
Been in the musical for 3 years now. Okay. So started out kind of not doing much, more or less in the ensemble. So kind of just singing with everyone and kind of just getting a feel for the musical overall. And the next year got to be Will Parker, so kind of more of a main lead, kind of just get me, you know, into the feel of things, which was really nice because I'm not like a huge music person. I guess back then, kind of now I'm more into it, which, you know, has kind of, you know, enhanced my liking of music. So and now this year got a pretty main role with a lot of great people.
So last year you mentioned Will Parker, and that was in Oklahoma? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then what is the name of your character this year?
Davey.
Davey. So. And what is Davey in the musical this year?
Davey pretty much is kind of the brains of the whole operations.
Okay.
Because these guys, they didn't really grow up with any education, and I'm kind of just like a high school education. So I kind of, you know, he's got the camaraderie, you know, kind of just bringing all the guys together, and then, you know, I've kind of got the smarts to, I guess, tell them what a strike is and a union and all that.
Okay. So you guys are kind of a team in this then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we start out
you
not really liking
compliment-
each other, but
Okay.
you know, it ends up being like a good friendship at the end.
Okay. Are you guys buddies kind of in everyday anyways?
Yeah.
So that made that a good casting there, Miss Johnston.
I don't think they go anywhere without each other.
All right, so Ian, tell us a little bit about yourself and then what your character is.
So my freshman year, I was in 7 Brides for 7 Brothers under Mrs. Graham, which I was thankful to have 1 year of Mrs. Graham after she retired, or before she retired. My sophomore year, I was in Beauty and the Beast. I was the Candlestick. I was Lumiere. My junior year, I was Curly in Oklahoma, and this year, my character's name is Jack Kelly in Newsies.
Okay. So can you guys tell us a little bit more about the program and the musical and what people can look forward to?
I think this year the musical is really, you know, at one of its highest points. I think this is one of like the best musicals overall. I think it's one of those musicals that people's going to come in and really enjoy every single song that's sung. It's like one of like the large group numbers or something like you're going to be singing for a while. So I think that's
right.
great.
Well, and Mike, if you can put up one of the pictures of the group whenever they travel down to watch another production of Newsies, if you can see, the guys have really embraced their characters. Let's say it that way. You know, from the hats to, you know, we're walking around talking with the accents and everything. So I think that they've had a great time with it. And as Isabella and Shayla had mentioned earlier, as you can see there, you know, to have a large group of people that they all travel together. Oh, there we go. We're begging for newspapers.
Yeah.
So, and again, Miss Johnston, you are in need of newspapers, correct?
Absolutely, you can drop them off to River Valley High School anytime you like.
And but as the girls were saying earlier, you know, there's a large group of people, and they all come together, and they may not always have the same interests and same personalities, but whenever they come together with a musical, it's pretty special.
You know, one of the things I like about this group of kids is, you know, they went to see this musical, and I'm like, you know, maybe 10 of them will go. I figured, you know, these guys would all go, and we had 40 tickets that night. They're such a tight-knit group, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to do this musical. There's a lot of group numbers, you know, they get to hang out as a family, and they all feel like they're part of it.
So, oh, the girls are over there singing a little bit. So, Cole, let's talk a little bit about. There's a lot of singing and dancing and lines and trying to get everything together. And Ian, this is your fourth musical that you've been involved in. So talk about that experience just a little bit with the two of you of trying to get everything to fit together.
It's a lot, and it's a lot to do in a little, like, I guess a little bit of time. And I feel like last year to this year, it's a big responsibility. Definitely on us, I feel like, to kind of be, you know, leaders too. We have some friends that are taking some big roles this year, and they've never done the musical before or nothing like that. So, you know, we're always trying to, you know, help them out and trying to make this the best musical.
Great.
Yeah, I'd say this is like by far the most dance-heavy, like song-heavy musical that we'll ever have, and the Newsies is like really popular and known for its music. Like it's really good. So the dancing and the songs are going to be really something good, I think.
Right. And then I hear that somebody is trying to learn a backflip. Is that correct?
Oh, there's a lot of flipping that is happening.
There's a lot of flipping that's happening?
Yes, and I just keep hoping no one gets injured. So.
Well, I hope nobody gets injured as well.
But they're having fun with that.
Are you guys moving all over the place and lots of choreography?
We're a little bit less than a lot of other people, but I think definitely the gymnastic practices was something, you know, we'd never done before, and it kind of, you know, was something like really cool and great to like bring us all together and just have some fun, but also working towards, you know, doing something entertaining for the people.
And that was a fun piece to add to it.
Oh yeah, that's definitely fun.
Great. So what is your favorite part of the musical? What do you think is going to be the favorite part of the musical?
Honestly, I think just like the songs. Like the big, large group numbers are a lot of fun to, you know, sing with everyone. So.
Right.
I think it's fun to be angry. Like our group of friends, we always tease each other and stuff throughout the day, but to actually like act mad and angry towards each other is always a fun thing to do.
And one thing that we haven't talked about so far, but there's a lot of people that go into helping the musical take place. And I know that Mr. Aaron Walker has been a great asset this year and working with you and running through lines. And he comes from a history of being involved in music and musicals and performance. So he's been an asset, I believe, this year. Who are some of the other people that have helped you this year?
Maggie Jackson has been a huge help with choreography. You know, the Netflix version can only go so far.
Right.
So Maggie's been great to come out and help us. Julie Casey has given us time in her gym to work on those gymnastic moves so nobody gets injured.
Great.
You know, there's a lot of people. You know, my mom and a couple other ladies from work came out and were doing some sewing for us. My dad's put together numerous amounts of scaffolding. And, you know, the teachers at school are always very helpful.
Right. And I know that working with some of our local, you know, not only your dad, but then some of our local businesses too, they have helped to make sure that we're able to secure the scaffolding and some of the things that we need.
Yes.
So I know OVEC has been one of the supporters. And if you look on the front of our flyer, you also see that it's sponsored by Ohio Valley Bank. And Ohio Valley Bank has been a great supporter of River Valley High School and the musical, you know, definitely financially. And we appreciate their support. So it really takes a community to come together and help all this. And like you had mentioned before, not only just, you know, the financial and getting people where they need to be and helping with you know, the gymnastics and things like that. But, you know, the other night your mom was up on the stage sewing and fitting people for
It
their
takes a
outfits.
village.
Right. And then I know leading up to it, right before dress rehearsal, you know, there's a lot of hair and makeup and those type of things that really our community comes together, and it's great for them to come together and do.
Yeah.
So here at the end, if someone would like to help or become involved in the musical either this year or next year, how could they do that?
As a supporter, they could purchase ad space for the program. That helped us offset a lot of costs. And that's I've done that since I began. I do that every year. And then
is that still available?
No, we're out of space.
We're out of space.
And we have to print the program, so we're out of space.
Okay. Well, that's a good problem to have, that we've ran out of
thing.
space.
That's a great thing.
Okay, good.
So they could do that. They can make a donation on ludus.com. Of course, they can donate anytime at the school.
Right. And then one last thing is I wanted to mention that, you know, Mike here in the studio, he also helps us out. Can people purchase DVDs of the show afterward?
Absolutely. Those will be available at the door, and I believe they are $20 each.
Okay. Well, if Mike could put up one last time our flyer, and we'll go back through when our show is. River Valley High School will be showing a production of Newsies. That will be Friday, March 29th and Saturday, March 30th, both at 7 p.m. here at the University of Rio Grande Fine Arts Center. You can go on to rivervalley.ludus.com to purchase tickets. Adults are $10 and students are $5. So before we wrap up, once again, I just want to thank Ms. Johnston and the students for coming out, Cole and Ian and Shayla and Isabella. Thanks so much for joining us, and we're looking forward to seeing how this year's show turns out. And again, to all four of you, congratulations on OMEA and what you're able to accomplish there. So again, I am T.R. Edwards, principal at River Valley High School, and today's version of Voice of the Valley.